Hello everybody, I'm Hoardergamer, and this is Hoarder's Comic Flex. I hope you're all doing well. We have an exciting show this week. We've got the new Batman book by Rafael Grampa, and this is actually the Jim Lee cover, which I thought looked amazing, so I picked up this version of it right here. Now, I was going to review this last Wednesday, but it turned out this was an actual Batman Day release. So this became available at my comic shop last Saturday. And there's like, I think, 4 or 5 covers for it. There's also a black and white noir version. So it actually says Batman Gargoyle of Gotham #1 Noir. So I thought that was really cool. And guess what? After this, which is the first review, we're going to have some game news. We're going to have some toys. We're going to toy around a bit. And we're also going to look at the very near future of comics before we have a second review, which is Wonder Woman #1 by Tom King and I believe Daniel Semper. Right there. So, if you like the new format where I talk about the books I'm going to review right in the beginning, let me know. Let me know what you think of that. Batman Gargoyle of Gotham is a very dark book. It's wild because it looks at that whole concept that the movie The Batman did, where are rich people doing enough for the poor people of the city? Like, that's a big part of it, which is really interesting. And there's also a very interesting new villain who seems to be in love with a old school cartoon that was canceled. And Batman here in Gargoyle of Gotham is almost a Batman driven by fear, which is really interesting. A number of things about him. He has a suit that's mechanized and basically makes him invulnerable. Okay? He has a version of the Batmobile called the Blindmobile. And it's called that because it's made of such intense, like, steel that it has no damn windows. It uses, like, a digital system in order to show him what would be outside, like, the windshield of the car. Plus, he is about ready to completely kill Bruce Wayne and live under the name Batman the rest of his life. So it's a very interesting take on Batman. And we also find out that this villain, Detective Gordon, Jim Gordon, actually goes and looks into this villain and what could be his motivation, and ends up looking through a psychiatrist's list of, like, patients, and Bruce Wayne is one of them. So it's possibly some kid who saw Bruce Wayne, no longer a kid now, getting, like, psychological examination. But yeah, it's really cool. The artwork is excellent, and I'm impressed with it. I'm very impressed. It has a look unlike anything. Like, the easiest thing I can say, and this is going to sound incredibly bizarre, is Robert Crumb and Frank Quitely. Combine their art styles, and it is kind of what Rafael Grampa's art style is like. It's really cool. It's very unique. And I'm interested to see this relationship between Bruce and Alfred. And Alfred thinks it's a terrible idea for Bruce Wayne to go bye-bye and for Batman to take over full time. He thinks that's an awful idea. And he's, like, trying to, like, talk Master Bruce out of it, but will ultimately do what Bruce decides. So yeah, this is part 1. I don't know, a lot of the Black Label books seem to have, like, 3 volumes total. So this might be, like, volume 1 of 3. That seems to be usually what they do. Not always, but usually. And yeah, it was definitely worth the wait because, like I said, I was going to review it last week, but it came out for Batman Day. So I think that was a neat idea because it's such a different take on Batman and a different take on Gotham that it made sense. Next up, everybody, we have some video gaming news. First up, we're going to be talking about the First Descendant. The First Descendant is a kind of like an MMORPG in the vein of something like Warframe or Destiny, a massively multiplayer game. And it's really cool so far. It's made by Nexon. An interesting story. The dev was from South Korea and then basically moved their main offices to Japan. So I thought that was pretty interesting when I looked that up. And I jokingly but lovingly call it Destiny Frame because it's a little bit of Destiny, a little bit of Warframe. And you have characters that have like unique abilities and stuff like that. Similar more to Warframe. And then like I believe you unlock and can study and like build outfits similar to frames in Warframe. So I think that's similar to the way the whole thing kind of works. I like it a lot. I've played as two characters. I've played as Viessa and Ajax. Viessa has really cool ice-based powers. Like, she can shoot an ice dagger. She can have, like, a big, like, ice storm that kind of takes over and really kind of wrecks enemies. That's got a really long cooldown. And my favorite, like a speedster, she goes super fast and has ice underneath her feet. And basically, if you go around an enemy, that's enough to freeze them. So the idea is to go near an enemy and then go to another enemy and then turn around and shoot them as they're going to be weakened by the ice attack. So I really like her a lot. And I like Ajax, but Ajax is more like an excellent choice if you're doing single player because he's got 2 shields. His abilities have 2 shields and he has a ground pound, where he basically leaps up in the air, lands down, and really puts the hurt on a number of enemies at the same time. You also have a grapple, so you can grapple like to rooftops and things like that for the traversal, and that works out really solidly. And then there's the insane part of the game that makes it different than a lot of the games out there, and a little bit like the concept behind Attack on Titan. You can actually lasso up to the top of a giant mech and rip the pieces off the mech by attacking them. And then, like Shadow of the Colossus, you have to hold on so the mech doesn't shake you off. It's a really interesting way to go about it. It really is wild. And I fought one of those bosses, this crazy-looking mix between a crab and a tank. And that was a lot of fun. And I was very quickly able to get a group of 2 other people to play just instantly. Like it, did that. I've only had 1 crash in about 6 hours of playing this beta. And the beta is available for 1 week. And so far, I really do like the game. It's on Unreal Engine 5, so it looks really good. It looks surprisingly polished for that type of a game. And let's see. There's a character named Bunny, who you may have seen in the trailers for the First Descendant, and I'm about to unlock her. You have to do a number of missions and complete them in order to get the pieces that will be able to create the character Bunny. And you have to do research in order to make them. So, yeah, I really think it's cool, though. I think it's an interesting game. I don't know how it's going to fare compared to, like, Destiny, Warframe, and now, like, Wayfinder and other games like that. But, again, this is far more in the vein of, like, Warframe and Destiny than Wayfinder. By far. But I really think it's cool. Also, now, Diablo 3. The new season is an absolute hoot. Basically, the thing is, you kill any enemy and a portal could open up to whisk you away to a small dungeon. some featuring locales only seen in the campaign of the game. And I feel it's a really great way to say goodbye to new Diablo 3 content. You know? I think it's a good, I guess you'd say, swan song for Diablo 3. Because after this season, they're going to basically go and recycle previous season ideas. And they are going to take this altar that was amazing, like I want to say 2 seasons ago, and bring that back. Because people loved it. And that's actually going to be a permanent part of the game. And I believe not just for seasons, but like the main game itself. Let's see. Oh, Diablo 4 news we got too. So the second season is apparently so massive that they're going to need to have 2 2-hour streams to tell us all about it. They apparently need 4 hours to explain to us what Season 2 of Diablo 4 is going to be like. And as we know, there's going to be vampiric powers, so that's going to be really cool. Gemma Chan is actually a voice actor in the second season. We also are going to have, I believe, at least 5 bosses that we can fight and farm different like equipment from or different gear from when we defeat them. So that's going to be really cool. Almost like they're not world bosses, but almost like they're world bosses in a way, I guess. But that's going to be really neat. The game definitely needs repeatable content. That's very important for any game as a service. And it's got to be fun, repeatable content. So I'm excited to see what they have going. You know, what they're cooking, as it were. I'm interested to see. Because again, 4 hours to explain what the season is, and we already know 2 or 3 elements of it. So what do they have coming? Like, how insane is this going to be? Is it a completely... I don't know. I don't even know where to begin. Is there a new world boss? An actual world boss? That'd be cool. Because my expectation for new world bosses was going to be based on every big expansion. And we know now that every year there's going to be one big expansion. So I was thinking that the expansion will probably have side missions, strongholds, a world boss, you know, basically a smaller condensed version of what was in the main campaign of Diablo 4. That's my thought as to how they're going to go about that. Spider fans, I'm hoping we have a lot of Spider fans because this is a comic book, toy, and game show. So I would guess we do. Spider-Man 2 has gone gold. So finally, it should not be pushed back at all. It should actually be coming out October 20th, the same day as Super Mario Wonder and a number of other games. But yeah, Spider-Man 2 has gone gold, and it looks awesome. It looks so good. I am just very much looking forward to it. I will be doing a lot of content for it. God, I might even do some YouTube stuff for it. I'm not sure yet. TikTok, Twitch. Yeah, I'm going to do quite a bit. Anyway, that brings us to the end of our video game news or information. Lies of P is awesome. It is an awesome game. I know. That is so crazy, Doom. How you doing, Doom? That's going to be so good. The game is going to be so good. And now it's like, now that we know it's gold, everybody, it's like it's real. It's like it really exists at this point. You know? Yeah, Liza P, though, is phenomenal. It's a really dark take on Pinocchio. So basically, it's like Lies of Pinocchio. And it's incredibly dark. Like, I don't want to keep saying dark over and over, but man, is it screwed up. Like, creepy-ass robots everywhere called, they use the term puppets, and they've gone nuts. There was a puppet frenzy, which undersells all the dead bodies lining city streets in the game. So, and it's got all the elements of a Souls-like, except I think it's a far more approachable game and the polish is really there, and the atmosphere is so good. Lies of P's atmosphere is, I think it's even better than the atmosphere in Bloodborne, which is saying quite a bit, quite a bit. Yes, I actually talked about the First Descendant earlier, Doom. I like it a lot. I played about, like, I'd say 6 hours of it. I've only had one crash. It's on Unreal 5. It's a mix between, like, Destiny and Warframe, and then has elements from, of all things, Attack on Titan. So it's a lot of fun to play. The shooting is incredibly satisfying. Like, even with basic weapons, standard weapons, it's really, really satisfying. And I've played 2 characters, ice-based female character named Viessa, and a dude in like a Minotaur helmet almost, named Ajax. And his whole thing is shields. He's big on shields. Well, see, that is the beauty of watching on demand, or video on demand. See? Well, everybody, that is all of our video game news. Next up, it is time for us to toy around. And first up, we have the Phantasm from Mondo.com. Okay, look how insane the Phantasm looks. Now, there are other pictures of this toy, but they're very spoiler laden. So I wanted to have one that wasn't. If you know the character, everything you would want with the character, every visual look of the character comes with it. I'll say it like that. Without spoiling anything, I will say it like that. So alternate hands, you know, and some other visual accoutrements. And the base version without those special visual accoutrements is like $190, and I believe it's $210 for the full version. This is a 12-inch figure, by the way. And Mondo has been doing an excellent job of the Batman the Animated Series figures. The Batman, Joker, Harley Quinn, they all look fantastic. They look so good. But yeah, there we go right there. The Phantasm. Okay, let me remove the Phantasm. I'm getting a little scared. Getting a little scared. I'm going to move the Phantasm. Dune! No, Doom, I didn't say your name. Dune. Here we go, everybody. A 4-pack of figures. Okay? Look at that. And you get a chance to receive a piece of Shani's costume. So, yeah, that's kind of wild. It's an Amazon exclusive, $69.99. And it's 4 figures from the new Dune movie. Look at that. I think they look really nice. I didn't even know that McFarlane was going to do a second Dune series. He's also doing the Shaddam Emperor and Fade. Of Fade and Raban. So that's coming as well. Next up, we have Orokusaki, also known as the Shredder, also known as Philip Banks, because James Avery, the actor from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, was the actual voice of Shredder. So, rest his soul. So there we have, right there, an awesome looking Shredder action figure. Okay. And I love how they did this. I think the detail's great. Retails at $21.99, so it's a good price. And I believe we have a secondary picture of this. Actually, no. We only have one picture of this. But if you look very carefully, it's kind of hard to see it. You don't just get Shredder. You also get Orokusaki. You get the actual Orokusaki profile. so a second head, and a number of cool extras there. So I think that's a really good looking Shredder figure. And finally, everybody, animated Optimus Prime. I think he looks really good. The detail, I love the axe having the see-through blue part right there for the blade. I think the paint job's really nice. This is going to be available after PulseCon on Friday. So in case you didn't know, Friday for like, I want to say it's 6 hours or so, Hasbro has this PulseCon. It's a once-a-year thing. And they basically talk about all these cool toys that are going to be coming out, and they're even exclusives for this like event, this PulseCon. And we know that Optimus Prime and the animated Bumblebee will be available. There's also going to be some really cool G.I. Joe stuff. I think last week I mentioned there's going to be a, I believe it's Cobra Strike Force, Baroness with Tomax and Zaymot. So that's actually, as far as I know right now, an exclusive that's only going to be at Hasbro Pulse. Now, one thing to keep in mind, and do not be upset at me too terribly if they raise the price. I don't know if they did. Last year, anyway, it was $49.99 a year, and it's free shipping on Hasbro Pulse. Here's the big deal, though, besides the free shipping, which really is a good thing if you buy just a few things a year. Beyond the free shipping, you also get 1 or 2 hours early access to PulseCon and whenever they have certain exclusives available at their website. So it's a really nice benefit. Fax, how you doing? But yeah, PulseCon is something that toy fans look forward to. Again, it's like once a year. It's usually September or like early October, I believe. And this PulseCon is going to be the 22nd on Friday. So yeah, take a look at that. Yeah, new Power Rangers, new Star Wars, new Transformers, new Dungeons and Dragons, new G.I. Joe. Trying to think what else. Well, that's already a lot. That's like already a lot. So, but yeah, I will have animated Optimus Prime roll out. Okay, everybody, we are done toying around for the week. I know you'd want me to toy around for another 12 hours if you could get me to do that, but we're done for the week. And now it is time for us to look at the future of comic books. The future that is all the way to 1 week from today. Okay, so that whole thing there, it's based on two things. It's based on an impression of David Lynch and an impression of the World of Value thing from BioShock. Like that, the store that like the thing where you can purchase weapons and ammo and stuff from. Okay. First up, we have the immortal Thor. So Theranos is coming, Elder God, scary, to kill Thor, and pretty much whatever city he's going to be in will be destroyed. So, not a great thing. L. Ewing, being one of my favorite writers, just recently took over for the Immortal Thor with issue 1, and this is issue 2. So it's still definitely a jumping on point for the Immortal Thor and L. Ewing's take on the character. Next up, we have Power Girl #1. So this comes out next week, and in a way it's connected to DC Night Terrors, which... Okay, so DC Night Terrors right after, or was it maybe at the very end of it, they had a special about Doomsday. And you found out that one of the only things that can defeat Doomsday is going to be, well, it's thought to be like Kara. But now it looks like it's going to be Power Girl herself, because it mentions a long thought dormant enemy of Superman, a Kryptonian, and Power Girl is the only, way to get rid of it or destroy it. So it really sounds like Doomsday again. And it very much felt like that special was going to set up Doomsday as a very scary threat in the DC universe. So Power Girl 1, written by Leah Williams. Right there. See if I can get the name of the artist. I cannot get the picture large enough. I apologize, so I'm not going to butcher the name. But yes, Power Girl 1, another really cool book that is coming out next week. And if that wasn't enough number one for you, like if you feel you need multiple number ones next week, especially from DC Comics, The Flash. This time focusing on Wally West. Look at that cover. Dan Mora did this cover. One of my favorite artists, does amazing covers. Does the artwork for World's Finest, which is the Batman Superman book by Mark Waid. And here is The Flash. I believe it's by Cy Spurrier and Diodato. Diodato, I believe, doing the art. I think it looks awesome. There's a very good chance I will review this and possibly Power Girl. Although I don't know then. That's 2 weeks in a row of 2 DC books being reviewed. So I'm not 100% sure. Maybe we'll do Immortal Thor 2 and then we'll do Flash or Power Girl. I'm putting myself in that place again. I just like two of these three, probably. 2 of these 3. We'll just say that. At this point, I'm not ready to say it's going to be Flash. I'm not ready to say it's going to be Power Girl. It's probably definitely going to be one of them. I kind of doubt it's going to be both of them. Okay. Let me send this back to... Ooh, I believe Wally's in Central City. I believe. Anyway, let me send this back there. He can hang out with the other Flashes if he usually isn't in Central City. Let's see. Yeah, I know a lot more about Barry. I'm not going to lie. I know a lot more about Barry than I do Wally. It's interesting to me, too, if the idea is that Wally actually is now like the flagship Flash. That's really kind of neat. Okay, everybody. Now, we are reaching the end of our show. And I know you're like, Hoarder, please. Another 2 days. Talk for another 2 days straight, please, Hoarder. And I'm sorry, I can't. So we're going to end with the review of Wonder Woman #1. This amazing cover is by Stanley Art Germ Lau. I absolutely love his work. He's done just phenomenal covers. I don't know if recently he's worked on an actual full book, but I know he's done many, many covers. Awesome variant covers, and this one is just great. It's also got a bit of a plot point because you see her adjusting her tiara. She actually uses that like a brass knuckle at one point. It's pretty nuts. So, through the entire issue, you have someone narrating, and you can't kind of tell what's up. Is it a hero? Is it a villain? You find out it's a villain named Sovereign. And there's always been, in like the background, underground, not well known, a Sovereign. And they've been like kind of calling the shots with the governments and everything screwed up like that. So I don't know how that works in a world of the Orgum family, in a world of the Viaguls. I'm not exactly sure those details yet. But he's basically decided a war on the Amazons needs to happen. And obviously Wonder Woman is not big on that. And there's a scene where someone calls Wonder Woman either the B word or the C word. I'm not sure which, because they use the little icons. But she gets furious. She gets furious. So it's definitely one of those words. And then she goes and takes this guy's bionic hand and crushes part of it. Don't feel bad, though. This guy is a jerk. And he's like working for the government and secretly the Sovereign, even though no one apparently knows who the Sovereign is. Now, this is where it gets really insane. In this issue, Wonder Woman uses the lasso of truth. Okay? The most important part of that, though, is to set up the difference between that and the lasso of lies, which the Sovereign happens to have. We don't really know what that does or how he got it, but he has it. And yeah, it's really cool. There's Emily. She is a Amazon that was basically trying to live among everyday people. And she gets into a very vicious bar brawl. But it sounds like it might have been orchestrated by the Sovereign. We don't know that yet. And she ends up killing, like, I think it's 19 men in the bar. But again, we don't know that she was under her own control here. It seems like he's doing something to cause unrest among this all civilians against the Amazons that happen to be in the US. And now they're basically deporting the Amazons back to Paradise Island or killing them. We also find out that the Sovereign has given insane ammo to these agents to hunt down and kill the Amazons if they will not go willingly back to Paradise Island. And that's pretty insane. Bullets that will decimate an Amazon. You actually do see that at one part of the issue. I think it's really good. I was a little worried, okay, because Tom King is a really good writer, but it started out a little bit on the boring side, and I was like, wait, who is all talking here? And where is this headed? However, about 3 or 4 pages later, it was really awesome. And I was like, oh, I see what's going on with all this. And I see what's going on with this Sovereign character at the end. So I think Wonder Woman #1 is really good. And it's a nice jumping on point. And like I said, obviously, Diana isn't thrilled with Amazons being sent back to Paradise Island, and obviously she's not happy with them, being hunted. So you see a very pissed off Diana in this issue. Everybody, I want to thank you all very much for watching. If you like this, tell others. If you enjoyed this, sub if you'd like. That'd be cool. Let's see. You can see me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Hoardergamer. Currently, I'm doing the First Descendant, but I think that's only till Monday, that beta. And then I'm going to be starting Spider-Man 2018 soon, because I want to get that done in time for Spider-Man 2, so I'm not, rushing to it. And then I'm not even a little bit burned out on Spider-Man. Because as much as I'm dying to play Spider-Man 2, I could see that the mechanics of it being similar enough to Spider-Man 2018 to be a bit burned out. So I definitely want to have a 2-week hiatus there. Also Wayfinder, but we're waiting on an update for that. And let's see. Diablo 4, but probably more like mid-October when the new season starts. Okay. I want to thank Doomkiller HD and Doom Squad Gaming for letting me borrow the channel again this week. Thank you very much. And yeah, I hope you have an excellent week, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you very much for watching Hoarder's Comic Flex. Bye-bye.